Introduce Mike S. from Eagle Rock.
My name is Mike. I'm an addict. What am I supposed to do now? When I got clean and where I got clean? Yeah. I got clean 29th of April, 1976 in Pasadena. When do I stop?
Just about 2 minutes to 6.
Would you do me a favor and just kind of kick me when it's time? Okay.
I can do that today.
I know. Wish I wasn't scared. I won't be after a while, but I have trouble starting because you guys scare the shit out of me. The beginning, I don't want to talk about using very much, but I think I want to talk about it a little bit. Flies like me. Oh wait. I got started using out of curiosity. I lived in a home where all the men were drunks, and every time they got together, they got drunk. And so I stole one of their bottles and got drunk when I was about 6. And I drank the way I was going to drink and use all of my life, like a pig. And I ended up passed out with a bottle. In fact, I ended up calling the police and a bunch of neighbors trying to come find me because I was in the basement under the house. And they thought maybe I'd gotten run away or got lost somewhere or something. And that's kind of the way it went, you know. The family moved, that happened in the East Coast, and the family moved to California, and I went through a kind of a culture shock from living in a small country town, moving into the big city, and I gravitated toward the fuck-ups. It was kind of a natural progression for me, and I found myself out in the streets, hanging out with the kids, and it wasn't very long before drugs started coming into my life. And I don't believe I ever really considered saying no to any of them. There was a point in time when I knew I would never use heroin, and I knew I would never use cocaine, and I knew I never would use LSD, because they were like serious drugs, and I didn't ever want to get into any serious drugs. And that time came and went. I ended up using all of them. I don't really know of much of anything that I can say that, I mean, drinking and using didn't make any sense for me. Am I doing something wrong?
No, check in the back, see if they can hear you.
Can you hear me in the back? No. There's a lot of empty seats up here closer. And I got to tell you, when I'm scared, I don't get loud. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of them guys that gets loud when he's scared, and I'm scared, so I'm not going to get loud. So if you want to hear me, probably the best thing you can do is move up. It isn't that I don't want to get loud, it's just I can't, you know, because I'm kind of like tied in a knot in here. And so I'll do the best I can, and if you guys want to have your own conversation back there, have a good time. I've done my share of having conversations back there, and I don't get offended if you're back there talking, so have a good time. I guess I had a couple of major events happen while I was drinking and using, and that changed my life. Probably the major one was I got drunk and loaded on pills one night, and ended up beating a guy to death, and ended up in state prison for second-degree murder. That was when I was 18 years old. From 15 to 14 to 18 was just kind of a blur that happened. I just partied, I just got whatever drugs were around I took, and we just had a pretty good time, and I kind of bounced in and out of jail and got in a lot of trouble. I'm a criminal, by the way. By nature, I'm a criminal. I'm not one of those people that got involved in crime because of drugs. I might have got involved in drugs because of crime. It might have kind of been the reverse for me. Stick around with me a while. This is going to go away. I won't be scared here in a little while, and then you won't be able to shut me up. I have recently had an experience that has given me an opportunity to kind of reevaluate a lot of what my life was like. I spent a lot of years behind bars, and my father collected letters that I had written to him during all those years, and I didn't know he had them. He brought them to me about 6 months ago. Told me, he doesn't know how much longer he's going to live, and he felt like I should have an opportunity to see these letters, because if he died, somebody would just throw them away. And I went back through these letters, and I realized that I wanted to do something different with my life a long, long time before I got clean. But I didn't know how. I was too scared to even admit to anybody that I wanted to do something different with my life. But I wanted to do something different for a long, long time. I never did anything about it. I wasn't one of those people that went here and went there and tried a whole lot of different things to get clean and to change their lifestyle. But I did have a desire somewhere within me to do something different with my life, probably while I was still a teenager. I got clean when I was 29, and I guess what finally happened to me is the last time I was busted, I was busted for going into a beauty salon and snatching purses from the ladies who were sitting under the hair dryers. There was like a whole row of them there. And I just kind of ran through the beauty salon and snatched everybody's purse. A couple of the ladies didn't want to give their purses up, and so I had to kind of kick them and beat on them a little bit to get them to cut loose of their purses. And I also ended up fighting with the cop when I got busted, so I ended up with 6 felonies. 3 of them were grand thefts, 2 of them were robberies, and 1 was an assault on a police officer. The culmination of all of that was I spent a year in the county jail with a penitentiary sentence of 2 10-year sentences suspended, and was placed on probation. While I was in the county jail, for the first time I was real conscious of wanting to do something different with my life. And I spent, I think we were doing 8 months or 9 months, whatever we were doing on county time at that particular time, getting loaded every time I had an opportunity, and really working hard at getting loaded while I was in the county jail. And at the same time, when there were no drugs around, considering alternatives, trying to figure out, God, there's got to be some way to do something different. I, one more time, kind of convinced myself that it was going to be different when I got out. But I kept money stashed so that I would have money to buy drugs and alcohol and cigarettes with when I got out. And I got out and I got loaded the very first day. And I went on about a 3-month run. And then I had like a flashback, remembering that I had just spent a year in the county jail and that I had really wanted to do something different with my life, and yet here I was out here in the free world where there was an opportunity to do something different with my life. And what I was doing was I was shooting heroin and drinking, and running amok one more time. So I tried, from that point in time, I think the end of my using began. I went, what happened to me at that point is my ability to be the kind of dope fiend that I could still feel a little bit of pride in went out the window. And I became a low-life, slimy gutter hype who would steal from anybody, mother, father, sister, brother, friends, children. If I had any children, I'd have stolen from them to get drugs. I got to a place where I was absolutely willing to do anything to get drugs because I didn't have the ability anymore to pick up a pistol and stick it in somebody's face, to go into a store somewhere and stick a gun in somebody's face and take what was there, or to run in and out of people's houses and steal their belongings. I started stealing from the people that were close to me. I didn't want to do any more time. So I started stealing from the people that I didn't think would turn me into the police, so I didn't have to do any more time. And I started becoming someone that I could not live with. I always had kind of been able to pride myself on the fact that, you know, I'd never really fucked over my family, and I never really fucked over my friends, and that there was a little bit of honor among thieves, and that I had a little bit of honor, and all that kind of shit went out the window before I got clean. And by no means am I proud of the fact that I stole from my family and my friends, but I'm glad I did. I'm not at all proud, but when I finally came into recovery, I was beat up enough so that I was willing to do what it took to stay. Because I really knew that what was going to happen to me if I didn't stay in recovery is I was going to go back out to steal from my family some more, and to steal from my friends some more, and to become somebody that I couldn't live with. I violated the probation that I was placed on for using drugs, given dirty tests. And I ended up in front of a judge who decided to take a chance and put me in a drug treatment center rather than return me to prison. And that's how I got involved in Narcotics Anonymous. That was in April 1976, and what went on in that treatment center was primarily, the focus was Narcotics Anonymous, introducing people to the fellowship, trying to get them to make friends in the fellowship, trying to get them to work the steps and get sponsors and that kind of stuff. And I was ready. I got clean. I sat in a meeting the first day that I didn't use on April 29th. I sat in a meeting in Pasadena, and I've never wanted to get high again since. I've had absolutely no desire to use drugs and alcohol since that very first day. I believe what that tells me is that you deserve the credit for the wonderful miracle that's been given to me. If you use drugs like I use drugs, the idea that you live on any given day without wanting to get high is a miracle. What I remember is, I remember being in San Quentin serving a 5 to life for second-degree murder, getting in trouble, getting locked up and put in administrative segregation, living in administrative segregation for a while and deciding to get myself into some more trouble and ending up in a strip cell, and laying in a strip cell in the back of beat section in San Quentin. What do you think I was thinking about? Getting loaded. Thinking about, I got to work my way out of this strip cell, back through administrative segregation, back out to the mainline population so I can start shooting dope again. That's all I thought about. All I ever thought about. All I ever wanted was narcotics. From the time that I really started and got myself involved in it until I got clean, that's all I ever wanted. I didn't care about anything else. I didn't care about families. I didn't care about anything else. That was it. And what's happened to me is that I've been able to live here with you guys involved in this fellowship and not want to get high. You know, and that's an incredible, wonderful gift. I don't think you can give a man like me a better gift than that. You know, my life has been quite an adventure in the time that I've been clean. You know, I don't have a problem with drugs and alcohol. I have a problem with drugs and alcohol. If I take some, I have an allergy, so I'm going to wake up in the penitentiary. But I don't have a problem with wanting to get high. And I think to God that I didn't even know was there when I got here, understood that somehow he needed to give me a hand in that particular area, or I was going to keep using. So that has not been a problem.
Excuse me, I hate to cut the speaker off, but they got a white Chevy 68 Impala parked over there in that Taco House, and they want to move it away. So anybody got their Chevy out there, go pick it up before they tow it out of here. I'm sorry, man. Hey! I want you people out there to come in here and sit the fuck down, or stop making up that goddamn noise, and somebody go get that Chevy.
You don't have any trouble getting loud, do you? You know, it's funny, I spoke at a World Convention of Narcotics Anonymous in Anaheim. There were 7,000 people in that room. And I want to tell you something. I stood up there and tried to talk while there were about 4,000 conversations going on. It really feels like a whole bunch of people are shitting on you. It really does when you're standing up here. You know, this is an extremely difficult thing to do, and to have a whole bunch of people, it's like, anyway. I don't know why I said that, but that's what, I do remember that. I really believe that if anybody asked me to speak at a convention again in California, I would refuse. And people that know me know that I don't say no to Narcotics Anonymous. You know, but I think I might refuse that one. I don't want to do that one again. Anyway, I have no idea where I was. Let's see. I got clean, right? Did I get clean? I got clean? Yeah. Right, I haven't had the desire. Somebody's listening. How about that? That's a fucking miracle in itself. People listening to me. I don't know which direction to go. You know, how many people are new? They were asking about how many people have more than 10 years. How many people have less than 30 days clean that are in the room? All right. I'm going to take a venture here and see what the hell happens, because I want to talk to the people that are clean less than 30 days, and I want to try and figure out a way to say to you, there's a real good reason why you should stay clean for the next 17 years. A real good reason. And that's quite a task. You know, we do it a day at a time, but what you're hearing today is a bunch of people that have been doing it a lot of day and a times in a row. And why? Because I'm going to tell you something. There are going to be some days that you're going to wonder, what the fuck for? I absolutely guarantee you this is not going to be just a nice smooth ride. You know, there are going to be days when you're going to just grab a cheek in each hand and hang on, you know. But I've had a miracle happen to me since I've been here that I'm going to try and figure out a way to describe to you, you know. It's real important that you understand that a lot of what I'm talking about did not happen to me in the first 10 years. It took me 8 or 9 years to just get some sort of a basic idea about what the 12 steps were designed to offer me. Now, I'm a dope fiend, so I came to Narcotics Anonymous, and for the first 8 or 9 years, I really expected the 12 steps to do for me kind of what dope had done for me, to make everything okay, to make everything better. Today, I don't believe that's what they're designed to offer me. So like I say, it took me 8 or 9 years to kind of get a different slant on things and begin to understand that nothing is going to make everything okay all the time except narcotics. Okay, narcotics quit working for me. They quit doing the job that they'd always done for me. At about 8 years clean, I'd been coming to Narcotics Anonymous bringing my problems, dumping my problems on you, expecting you to give me answers to solve all of my problems. I figured all the answers were in the 12 steps. All the answers were in rooms that were filled with people like you. What I didn't understand is, you don't know any more about this shit than I do. I'm coming to you for answers that you can't give me, or the chances are you're not going to tell me you don't have the answer. You're going to give me some sort of an answer. And I got a lot of answers that didn't help me all that much, and I reached the point after about 8 years where I hated you, and I wasn't prejudiced about it. I hated you all. I did not want to be a member of Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't want to come to these rooms, but I knew if I didn't, that my allergy was going to kick up again and I was going to wake up in a penitentiary. So I had to keep coming. But I spent a lot of time in the back corners. I came late and I left early, and I hated a lot. I didn't want anybody to ask me to sponsor them. I didn't want anybody to ask me to lead a meeting or to read at a meeting. Or I just wanted to come and sit in the back and take what I could get from Narcotics Anonymous. Give me some change out of that. I came dangerously close to getting loaded at that time. What I had to do is I had to completely pull myself back, take a look at what I was doing, and reevaluate what I was doing here. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Do I really want to be here with you guys or not? And if so, I've got to do something different. And I had to sort it all out and figure out what it was that I had to do different. It's real simple what I had to do different. I had to listen to the old-timers. And I had to start doing what they were doing. And I had to quit coming here taking. I spent 8 years coming to Narcotics Anonymous taking. Gimme, 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 gimme. At that point in time, I came back. I made a whole new decision to rejoin the fellowship, to become an active participant in the fellowship with a different twist on things. I wanted to find out each day that I came to a meeting what I could give. He didn't see that. He didn't see that. I had to find out what I could give you. What I could leave with me here. Now, I listened to old-timers from the very beginning. I always have listened to the people who have been clean a long time, and I've always kind of been interested in what is it that they talk about that they all kind of seem to talk about. And one of the things that they talk about is giving. It comes in a lot of different forms. They talk about being a service, and just in a lot of different ways they're talking about that. I don't know what that means. When I came to Narcotics Anonymous, my philosophy was the world is mine. I take what I want. If you don't like it, step aside. You'll make it a lot easier for everybody. And I went about my life that way, and I took from wherever I went. From whoever I came in contact with, I just kind of took. So I had to learn something brand new. I had been involved in service. I had been secretaries and treasurers. I was going on panels. I was doing this. I was doing that. I sponsored people. I doing all this stuff. But I was doing it for the wrong reason. The reason that I was doing it is I wanted you to think that I was a good member of Narcotics Anonymous. I wanted you to think that I was wonderful. I expected that if I kept at it long enough, someday they'd name a park after me. And they'd build a big statue at the entrance to the park, and I'd be reaching my hand out, shaking a newcomer's hand, and I had those kind of motives. That's what the whole thing was about. I didn't really give a fuck one way or another what happened to any of you. I was thinking about me. I was concerned with me. That had to begin to change. I didn't get loaded. Somehow I didn't get loaded. I went back to the neighborhood. I visited some of the old connections. I did some really foolish kinds of things. Thank God that those things scared me back into the fellowship rather than getting me loaded. I really feel blessed for that. And I'm thirsty again. Can't even drink right. Okay, that's about 9 years ago that whole thing happened to me. I believed at that time that that's what I needed to do in order to stay clean, in order to stay involved in Narcotics Anonymous. And I began a journey which has led me to a place where I really don't believe that I need to give in order to be a member of Narcotics Anonymous, and I don't believe that I need to give in order to stay clean. I do it because I love it. It's what I like to do with my life today. I spoke out here a couple of months ago, I guess, and I really had a wonderful experience happen to me. After I spoke, some people came up and said hello to me, and I watched this one guy. He kind of kept his distance, but I had a feeling he wanted to say something to me, but he was waiting until the other people left. And then he came up and we had a short conversation, and he asked me a question that at the time I didn't realize what a profound question it was. Basically what he asked me was, what do you want with the rest of your life in Narcotics Anonymous? What do you want out of it? And I thought, shit, what happened to a day at a time, you know? At that particular time I thought, shit, I have no idea what I want next week. Let alone, maybe another 40 or 50 years of life, however long I'm going to live. So I told him, give me a minute, let me think about it. And the answer came to me. All I want to do is help out. That's all I want out of the rest of my life, is to help out. All I want is to make the world a better place to be. All I want to do when I come up to this podium and try and carry a message of recovery is figure out some way, and it isn't even me figuring it out. It's kind of just standing up here letting the words come out. But I want to make Narcotics Anonymous sound attractive. I remember what it was like to not use dope against my will. Those days when I would, I got to just try not to do this today because I got a test tomorrow, or I got to go see the parole officer tomorrow, or, whatever the reason might be. There were days when I didn't use. And they were horrible. They were absolutely horrible. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what I'm doing here. That may be what you're doing. I hope that's not what you're doing here. I know that's not what I'm doing here. I believe the reason that that's not what I'm doing here is because there's a God that's alive and well in Narcotics Anonymous, that loves me and that takes good care of me. I believe that that's not what's happening to me because somehow I found myself on a road that leads me to this place where I just want to help out. I just want to make things better wherever I go. I don't want to create disturbances or chaos ever. I don't want to hurt anybody ever. I was with a friend of mine last night. We went to a meeting together and we were talking about this, that, and the other, and eventually we got around to talking about some of our insanity, and I ended up telling him, I hope I never get in another fist fight as long as I live. I don't know what that means to anybody else sitting in the room, but I used to love to get wild and crazy and violent. I loved it. And you know what? It would just be absolutely peachy keen with me if I never got in another fight with anybody as long as I live. I don't really know what that whole story means to anybody else. It's really the only way that I know to tell you why you should stay. Because if you had any idea of what it felt like, if I could just kind of rip it open. People come up to me and say, man, you're so mellow. I can't believe this is the same guy, And it's like I look and I think, shit, did I do something wrong? You know what I mean? I get a little bit weird about it, but this is who I am today. You know, this is the guy that I am today, and I'm comfortable with this. I'm enjoying this. You know, this is my home. Narcotics Anonymous is my home. I feel more at home here than the last place I called home was San Quentin before I came to you guys. And the best my life ever was when I was serving 5 to life for second-degree murder in San Quentin. My name was good on the yard. I was a real good handball player. I could hustle a little bit of money to buy drugs with on the handball court. I played poker pretty well. I was a shitty domino player, so I lost most of the time when I was playing dominoes, but I'm pretty good at poker, pretty good at handball. My credit was good. I could get, you know, I was somebody, you know. I was somebody. And I lived on the bay side of the East Block in 3E6. There was a homosexual that liked me who was the lieutenant's clerk, and for a carton of cigarettes a month, he made sure nobody moved in the cell. And, man, I was on top of the fucking world, you know. I was in a high-rent district, carton of cigarettes a month, you know. And I really thought I was somebody, you know. And what I want to tell you is, before I came to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, my life never got better than that. It never got better than that. That's kind of sad when you think about it, but it's true. That's the best my life ever was. When they let me out of those places, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse until they locked me up again. You know, in a lot of ways, I was better off inside of those places, I guess. I don't know how long I've talked, but I really feel like there's only one thing left to say, and that is we're a long, long way from San Quentin. And thanks for letting me be here.